Let's start with some breaking news now this hour. We're getting reports of multiple explosions in Sri Lanka. At least 3 churches and 3 hotels have been attacked. 2 of the churches and 3 hotels hit are in the capital, Colombo. The 3rd church targeted is outside the capital. People were attending Easter Sunday Mass when the explosions hit. Images show damage inside the churches. Hospital officials say there are multiple casualties. The BBC's Azam Amin is in Colombo and he joins us now. Azim, what can you tell us?
I'm in front of St. Anthony's Church in Colombo, where the first explosion took place, and there are several dead bodies were inside. So people, a massive surrounding area, because this is a mainly Catholic area, so they have come to this area to witness. So there is heavy police security. So they are, still. Trying to figure out what really happened. And, there are reports of other explosions around the country, in particular a major explosion, and the 5-star hotels in Colombo, 3 major explosions. I've seen pictures, so people are, is really in a kind of a panic situation. So in this church, I've spoken to few, and they have said a sudden explosion and people have been taken away. So this is what the current situation here.
As you say, the devastation seems to be really quite severe, and a lot of emergency services also in the background behind you.
Yes, I mean, there have been, because nobody is going inside because they are suspecting there is another bag, something like an explosive bag inside. So they are really on alert at the moment. So there is bomb squad have arrived. They are trying to figure out, what really happened. And the people I spoke, they said there are dead bodies inside, and so it's really kind of a little panic situation. And then there have been relatives of those who are inside the church are here, so they have been making a big fight with the police. They want to figure out whether their relatives are inside or not. So it's not clear exactly what's really happening, but I've spoken to the church authorities. They said there were many who had come to the prayers in the morning and when the blast took place, and they're very sad because they're hearing similar reports around the country, in particular in other area in Nigambo, where I've seen pictures, where a lot of devastation has happened, and the Colombo hospital has confirmed that at least they have 20 dead bodies at the moment. So, which is kind of showing the scale of these attacks. And there are more reports. I've seen the pictures of 5-star hotel blasts in Colombo, where there seems to be a couple of blasts just all taken place on kind of similar times.
What is being expressed about people's concerns about what might be behind these attacks?
It's not very clear what exactly, but there were some reports, earlier in the week of some attacks about Christian churches in Anuradhapura. So there were protests in Colombo as well on Friday about expressing concern about religious freedom on Christian places. But I'm not sure whether that is the case. But, it's very early to say what is really behind. But it looks very organized with at least 6 attacks taking place in kind of almost on the same time.
And not, of course, completely confined to the capital either.
Not exactly. I mean, there is a Batiklo in the eastern Sri Lanka, where the former war zone. So in that we have not seen any pictures, but there seems to be many casualties there. And Nigambo, which is a little out of town in Colombo, that is the other church which has been attacked. So which I've also seen pictures, is really devastating.
Azam, thank you very much indeed. Well, the BBC's also, we have the journalist Sandun Arosho Fernando joining us also from Colombo. What can you tell us about these attacks? We've just been hearing from outside one of the churches that was attacked.
Yes, today is Sri Lanka Catholic celebrate the Sunday Mass with the Easter Sunday. So a lot of people gathered around the churches. The Kochikade, where the blast happened in the today morning, has a lot of people because in the Sri Lanka, the Kochikade church, it's a very prominent place for the Catholics. So a lot of people gathered in that place. And there's 2 blasts also reported in another 2 Catholic churches outside the Colombo. And I can confirm that Kochikade and Nigambo blast happened in the same time. So this is very organized blast happened in the around the Sri Lanka. So far, we can confirm there's 6 blasts around the Colombo and around the Sri Lanka. 3 in the Catholic churches and 3 in the 5-star hotels. So it seems there's a lot of casualties in the this blast but we can't confirm yet how much casualties we have reported. From our ground report says there in the Batikilo there are 300 injuries. And the National Hospital, I spoke a short while ago to the Colombo National Hospital. Colombo National Hospital confirmed there is 200 people admitted so far with injuries and around 10 people feared dead. That's the situation he is in Sri Lanka. There's a lot of rumors in the Facebook and the Twitter. There's some more blasting happening, but yet to confirm those blasts. So we'll be updating you if there anything happened in the desired measure.
As you've hinted at, it's very concerning, very alarming indeed that there is clearly a lot of coordination and planning that went into these attacks. And of course, as people go to church to worship for Easter.
Sorry, I didn't clear that one.
There has clearly been a lot of planning put into these attacks, and that's what makes it particularly concerning.
Yes, that's what I can say when I see these blasts, because we have suffered around 30-year-long war. We had experience in around 10 years ago this kind of blast, but in Sri Lanka never experienced like this blast. So people are not vigilant enough about the suspicious people or suspicious things. So they might take advantages about that. We can clearly say who is behind this. But as a journalist, as my experience, I can say there is some organization behind this, because the things happening in the same time, and things target on this Sunday mass. They have target where the people gathering. Now police are saying we are celebrating now single-hand Tamil New Year in the country. So we have some festival in some villages. So police now asking people to don't go there, don't be in the gathering places. And one of my colleagues also said there's a lot of security now in the Catholic churches. Suddenly, in the middle of the mass, police came and they are providing security, and they send out people from the churches. That's how now we are witnessing the situation in the Sri Lanka.
Thank you very much indeed. Well, we're going to come back to that story very shortly, but first, Caroline Rigby is with us here in the studio, and she joins me now. Caroline, this, of course, for very good reason, is being watched very closely by the West, isn't it?
Yes, in Colombo. We're hearing that there's... the latest we're hearing is that there were a number of blasts, 6 blasts across the country. It seems like the majority of them seem to be coordinated in Colombo, the capital of Sri Lanka. We are hearing that potentially 2 churches in the capital, as well as 3 hotels, potentially 5-star hotels, were targeted, as well as a church to the north of the capital. Now, the churches are likely to have been very, very busy today. It's Easter Sunday. It seems that Easter Mass services were taking place at the time when these attacks happened. So that meant that the churches were busy, and that's likely that there were a lot more people injured in the churches at the time. Now, we haven't had an official response from Sri Lankan authorities yet, but we're hearing that local media is reporting that potentially 160 people were injured in these attacks, and also potentially as many as 20 killed, though, as I say, we haven't heard an official response from the Sri Lankan authorities yet to confirm those casualty numbers.
And as I've been saying to the people that we've been talking to on the ground, the concern is just how carefully coordinated these attacks were.
Yeah, it appears that they all happened within the space of maybe an hour or so, a couple of hours ago. So it seems that they all happened very similar, in a similar time, very close together. Most of them, it would seem, were in the capital, although it does appear that there were other attacks elsewhere in the country. As you say, it was still hearing information coming in. I think we're going to get a lot more information on this in the coming hours. So at the moment, it's a little bit unclear as to who was behind the attack, exactly when they happened, where they happened, but it does seem, as you say, that they were coordinated, certainly.
And of course, a backdrop in Sri Lanka of very prolonged civil unrest.
Yeah, civil war.
Civil war.
Yeah, civil war. In recent years, it has been a lot calmer, but there have been militant groups that have been active, that have threatened in areas elsewhere around the world and in Sri Lanka. But at the moment, I think it's just far too early to say who was behind these attacks, though it does appear that it was coordinated and it was planned in some way. So I'm sure we'll hear more on that in the coming hours.
Caroline, thank you very much indeed. Caroline will be there. And we will be keeping you up to date with that story here on BBC World News.